Hello friends, I'm back. I just recovered from my shoulder surgery, and today I would like to share a sketch of my mother along with the story that will change your perspective about life. Today I try to get out of my comfort zone by using fade-proof and waterproof pen to sketch first, and then I will apply washes by using watercolor. Using ink wasn't my expertise. I'm fear of the permanent ink on the paper. One little mistake means start all over again. So I sketched the figure with pencil first before I apply ink on top. But the rest of this picture, the foliage and the brick wall, I will use ink straight on the paper. I meant to get this sketch ready since last Mother's Day, but because I had operation on my shoulder, so I had to delay it. I believe sketching it now isn't too late. Doing something for my mother since she is still around isn't too late. Even though I know I could never repay her enough for her unconditional love, I will still try my best to show my appreciation, love and care. I use cross-hatching technique to darken all the shading area. I know the cross-hatching technique isn't perfect, but the main thing is I have got out of my comfort zone and tried something new. So if you are fear of trying something new, I just want to know that you are not alone. Now I'm done with the ink, and I start to bring out my 2 water jar and my color palette. These are the pigments I use in this painting. I use Cascade Green to mix with Winsor Violet to mute down its vibrancy a little bit, and I paint in the head, adding tiny bit of red and yellow to paint gray, and I use it for the hair. Make sure I leave a bit of highlight. Using the same mixture of Cascade Green and Winsor Violet to paint in the crease and fold and the shading area of my mother's shirt. Does weather ever bring back your old memory? Raining usually bring me back to the old time when I lived with my parents in the wooden house, in a small village surrounded by rice fields. So the rains today, creating a perfect atmosphere for me to sketch my mother. My mother is beautiful, strong and kind woman. She worked hard ever since she was a little girl. My great-grandparent, which is my mom, grandfather and grandmother, had a family business of producing rice noodle. So my mother, as a little girl, she had helped my great-grandma with grocery shopping, cooking, cleaning, etc. While many little girls at her age are still running around and playing with dolls. Despite all of those hard work, she living a good life until the Civil War began. Those hard work in such a young age had built survival skill for my mother, helping her to get through Civil War in Cambodia during 1975 to 1979. This civil war was known as the Cambodian Genocide. About 3 million people were killed. This dark period in Cambodia was known as Khmer Rouge or Pol Pot region. Normally, I don't like to mention something about war or something sad in my art vlog, but this dark period of Cambodian history is a part of my background, especially my mother's teenage life. While some kids these days complain about the warm meal that prepared by their mother on the table, disregard education and committed to drugs, my mother during the war period was only trying to keep herself and her family survive. She had to work double the amount of the task that's been given by the Khmer Rouge to cover up her elder sister who wasn't in great health condition. This genocide was meant to kill the whole entire nation by making them working very hard and give very little food. They have moved all the people that live in the city to the countryside, so that there's no high class, middle class or lower class. Everyone was the same. But in reality, everyone wasn't the same. The local wasn't willing to share their knowledge of farming and survival with the new arrival. People with zero survival skill would die first. My mother, on the other hand, learned how to work smart, not just working hard. Once she asked the local and couldn't get information, she learned by watching, not by asking. She looked at people who weave palm leaf hat and quickly learned the pattern in her head. And then she notified the people who in control of her group, telling them that she could weave the palm leaf hat. This act got her out of the working field, which is under the hot sun, and be able to sit under the shade while weaving the hat. She had to meet the quantity they asked for each day and finish the work early so that she could have time to hunt for food, such as bamboo shoot, potato, and mushroom in the woods. During that time, people were divided by age group. Teenager was known as a strong group. They had to be sent out of the home and village to work very hard. For elderly and kids could stay home in the village, but they need to look for food and survive on their own. So every time my mother missed home and worry about her family, she would try to finish work early so she could have extra time to hunt for potatoes in the woods and bring it back home to the village for her brothers and my great-grandma. Visiting family wasn't allowed during that time, so my mother had to sneak out at night, walk through the woods, where all the locals told her that no one could run past that woods without getting haunted. With her strong and kind spirit, she walked past that woods with no problem. Checking on her brothers and her grandma, giving them those potatoes, and then she walked back through the same woods and had to get to the working field before the sun was up. For us this day, missing parent or family means just half an hour drive or few hour drive, or simply just buying some plane tickets. But for my mother, it means working extremely fast, hunt for food, walk through haunted woods, sacrifice a whole night of sleeping just to get to see her family and giving them some foods. I believe that her hard work and her love for her family had shaped her to be a mother long before she carried her first baby, which is me. When my mother had my sibling and I, she took care of us very well. She is now in her 60s and she had to take care of my 87 years old grandma who had stroke, and her food need to be fed through the tube. Aging and sleepless nights had their way on her beautiful face, but to me, she looked even more beautiful. Every wrinkle on her face tells story of strength, survival, and lesson I forever hold close to my heart. To all mothers in the world, you are amazing. Our life has sweet and bitter moments, but whatever's happened, it had shaped us to be who we are today.